Welcome everybody to Five Nights at Fuckboy. This is an old FNAF fan game that if you were like decently active in the FNAF like community, you've definitely seen this game. Or just if you were a fan of Markiplier, because Markiplier's series for this did really well. It's this kind of silly meta, very crude Five Nights at Freddy fan game. Where you are the animatronics and you're doing some debauchery and depravity, and there's a lot of sexual references that probably shouldn't be in a game like this. And yeah, it's cool. You get the this is something new. I didn't notice this before. Now the dragon dildo seems to... So it was the best weapon in the game for Freddy. Now it seems to put your defense to 1, which is not how it worked in the past. I wonder if that's like a balancing thing. I know the game has been updated since the last time I played it, which is weird because I played it on Melon Keeper Plus. You'd think, why is this old game being updated still? The truth is, I don't know why they've revisited it, but the developers behind this game have revisited it to change a few things in updates and stuff, and I guess that's one of them. Although the interesting thing is they remade these games. Like, this is Five Nights at Fuckboy Final Mix. It is not the ultimate version of the game anymore. It used to be, at the time when Five Nights at Fuckboy 3 came out, the ultimate version of the game, but now it's not. And there is a remake of it, which is apparently ultimate-er. Although I will say, I kind of prefer this one, which is why I'm playing this and not the remake. Freddy, my fucking head is gone.
You fucking shit, but it's not the same. Let me guess. You want me to go find your fucking head? Yes.
The game is kind of funny. I don't know. I have an interesting relationship with this game because I think it's one of the most fun RPGs that I have played. It's this really interesting kind of RPG where everything takes place in one very enclosed space, and the progression is all within that. It is pretty grindy at times, but I don't really mind that so much. It's not too bad. I think we go in here for this. Get the lighter. And then we go here. And I'm just going to save because I feel like I'm going to get a random encounter that I can't run away from. The power at the bottom there, it's on 3 right now. That indicates the general dangerousness of the zone that I'm in. So this is a dangerous zone. It's a 3 power. The starting area is a 1 power, and it goes up to 5. So I should not be hanging here. But I want to go burn down Pirate Cove. I have skipped a step here. Basically, Foxy the Pirate Fox, he was doing some mischievous behaviors, and so I'm trying to burn down Pirate Cove so he will join me on my night of debauchery and villainy. But BB has taken the... This is the iconic line, right? That is probably the part of this game that has stuck the longest across everything, is that line. So, you know, there is that. I swear he's meant to be selling it. Am I looking in the wrong place? Special offer. Yes, 15... I don't even have 15 tokens. That's how poor I am right now. So yeah, this is the grindy part of the game. You gotta get tokens to get better gear for all the animatronics, and you also have to grind to level them up. They go up to level 20, which is a reference to the first game, where the highest difficulty is 20, which actually that remains true throughout the... I swear I have enough tokens. I only have 10? Okay, maybe I am poor. I think I just spent them all when I got the original microphone, and I wasn't paying attention that clearly. Why is this my favorite, or like one of my favorite turn-based RPGs? The reason is not because I played it as a kid. I think a lot of people would assume that, oh, it's nostalgia, the game's not actually that good. The game is good. The game is fun. It has surprisingly interesting combat mechanics. It's not super deep, but there are like status effects and stuff that have a more significant impact on the battle than just like, oh, you take damage every turn, it's poison, or like, oh, you can't attack because you're asleep. Like, there is more to it than that, although those are gameplay mechanics. Okay, we gotta be careful here, because I've got to get enough food, which means I need to fight things to get the food, but I need to do that without dying. But we got Foxy in the party, yippee! Foxy's pretty good. He does like status effects, and he makes his other teammates faster. But really, probably the least important animatronic. Freddy does a lot of like base damage. I guess no, Foxy does paralyze. Like, he has a role in the team. It's just like Bonnie does a lot of damage, and Chica is your primary healer. Because, you know, pizza. So Foxy does feel a bit underwhelming by comparison, but he's no slouch. He does do work on the team. And yeah, this is the general format of every Five Nights at Fuckboy game. They are crude, but they are funny, and I like them. I think they're fun games. I think I quite like the gameplay of it, just because it's an RPG where you don't need to read a lot of text. It's an RPG where you can just kind of play the RPG parts of it, which, like, fundamentally turn-based RPGs come down to combat, grinding, and equipment, and this game just has those mechanics, and those mechanics work really well within the context of the overall system. I really like it for that reason, but it's certainly not without flaw. I think we need to get Chica, because I believe Bonnie's head is in the women's restroom.
I cannot go into the women's bathroom. This would forsake my masculinity.
And of course, we don't want to forsake Freddy's masculinity, so we need to get Chica.
Punch.
But I don't remember how to do that. Which is weird, because I thought I remembered everything about this game, but I seemingly can't remember how to get Chica. Which is kind of an important step in this process. The funny thing is, when I made the... Okay, there's an item there. That'll have something to do with it. When I made the... Okay, get the kitchen key, unlock Chica. That makes sense. Originally, when I made this series on Melon Keeper Plus, I pretended as if I didn't know anything about the game, like I was playing it for the first time, but I got everything correct, and I did everything exactly the way you were meant to do it, because I had recently done a playthrough of the game before I played it on Gold. That is no longer the case. I have not played this game in a while. I don't think I've played it this year. Usually I do a playthrough, just because I'm dead, by the way. I don't think I can win this. Usually I do a playthrough each year, just because all of the games are pretty short. You can beat them in a couple hours, and sorry if you can hear that. And they're all extremely fun. So most years I have played through these games, but I don't usually do it so close together or back to back, just because the more time I spend playing the game, the less like novel and interesting that gameplay becomes for me. Because even though I think the gameplay of these games are fun, I don't think they're the most fun I could be having at any given time. Which is just normal, right? Like, you don't want to play the same game all the time. I mean, I say that. There are some games that I would very much be happy to play for the rest of my life. I've always said, if I could only play one video game for the rest of my life, I would pick a Smash game. and that Smash game would probably be Melee. There's an argument to be made for Brawl, because if all the Brawl mods count as Brawl, then I might pick Brawl, because then I can play Project M, which is good enough to be Melee. It's not as good as Melee, but it's good enough to be Melee. And then I would pick Brawl Minus as well. I think somebody's like lawn mowing outside, which is really irritating when I'm trying to record, because if nothing else, it's bothering me. I don't know how much it's showing up on the mic, but it's bothering me. That is one advantage of this mic over the last one. I feel like it shouldn't show up as much because this mic's a dynamic mic, so it's like it should be picking up mostly just my voice. But yeah, it is kind of irritating, not gonna lie. But yeah, like I said, if I could play any game for the rest if I could only play one game for the rest of my life, I'd probably pick Melee, because Melee's awesome. So yeah, there are games that I would be happy to just play those games for the rest of my life, but those games are in short supply. I feel like there's very few like it's always going to be multiplayer games, because the social aspect of gaming is one of the main appeals to it for me. As a kid, I played a lot of single player games. I mostly played on my PS2 and Wii, single player in my bedroom, and that is a acceptable way to live, but it is isolating. It is very isolating only playing I don't think I have that much tokens. It is isolating only playing games in my room all the time, and I think if I were forced to only play a single player game for the rest of my life, then I think I would just not be gaming very often, because there are more fun things to do than playing video games, and I acknowledge that. Video games are not the most fun thing that I have in my life, and I think that's a good thing, because at the end of the day, like, it's just a thing to do, and it is a very big part of my life. It's a very big, like, hobby, is playing these games, and, you know, making videos out of them especially has become a weirdly, and there's a conversation to be had about that, right? Like, why is everybody a creator now, and why is everybody, you know, even just Instagram posts and stuff like that are creating, and like there's a big focus on like everybody has their thing, right? But from my perspective, like, I think it's a good thing. I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, not everyone needs to be a YouTuber, like not everybody needs to do all these things, but if you want to and you have something to do or to say in that video, then like why not just go for it? I think it's a really cool thing to do. I think it's really fun. So obviously, like, it's a big part of my life, but it's also like gaming, weirdly enough, has opened up a lot of opportunities socially, and I think that, like, without those aspects, I just don't think I'd be as into it. I play a lot of games multiplayer now. I play a lot of games with my friends, and even the single player games I'm finding the communities for, and I'm, you know, doing all of this because I'm very involved in the speedrunning stuff. And I really like that part of this hobby, and I'm really bothered by the fact that I guess I would be really bothered by not having that. Not having that would make it not worth it for me anymore to continue to play games. But the lucky thing is that I don't have to choose, right? Like, we're here, we're making videos, and we're just chilling out, right? Like, there's not much in the way of like, nothing's forcing me to just sit in my room all day and play video games. Like, I can go out, I will go out, and it's gonna be great. But when I think about, like, you know, playing Melee and stuff, I said that was the most fun I've had playing a video game. You can wear Bonnie's head. That's really funny. How good is it? It's really good. It's really good. And it doesn't apply as a head, it applies as a shield, which is really funny. Cool. Oh god, another thing
If you
about
know
this
my
game is that it also has like rare drops as like a pretty major mechanic. You're not gonna beat the game without grinding for them. There's the like kingly hook and godly guitar or whatever. Stuff like that. I can sell it? I can sell Bonnie's head and just lock myself out of that part of the game. I guess you might be able to beat the game without Bonnie. I wouldn't try it. I mean, I'm on lower
here is
difficulty.
yes.
I'm pretty sure on night triple X you can't beat the game. This is night X, it's the lowest difficulty. Still a pretty hard game, all things considered. Like the final boss fight is not easy. But yeah, now that we've got the 4 of them, we can just like mash through every fight pretty much. At the lower levels, we can probably like once I've in fact, let's try it. Let's go to a power 3 zone and just see like what happens. Like, am I gonna be okay? I think I'll probably be fine. I don't foresee any major issues doing that. Because even though I don't do a lot of damage, I can take a few hits from them. And oh, did I not buy Freddy's top hat toss? I guess I didn't. Okay, that changes things. I think I should still be fine. Only 2 of them are doing any damage though, which is not great. It's only Freddy and Foxy doing damage because the rest are just not meeting the threshold to actually deal damage. But we will be fine. Foxy gets a crit. Oh god, that's another thing, is crits are like a major... I mean, you don't need crits to win, but they do swing the tide of boss fights later on. Yeah, I just need more tokens, basically. This is the part of the game that was kind of hard to record, because who wants to watch someone just grind for these tokens and rare items over and over again? I think I did skip some of that stuff in the actual Melon Keeper Plus episodes of it, but I don't remember. But I mean, I can call it here, right? Like, I've collected them all. You've seen the general premise of the game. And if I'm gonna play all of these, I can't play them all for like 6 hours. I feel like it'll be really boring for you, but especially for me, trying to commentate over that. So I'll see you all later. And I hope you enjoyed watching Five Nights at Fuckboy. I think it's a fun game.